Hey everybody, this is Francesco Abruzino with the Rogue Rant or Uncensored Report. And today I want to talk a little bit about the ruling establishment, the elite, the good old boy club from the national down to the local level where it exists and how they need our consent to govern us. It's critical for them to have that. And we need to realize that. These ruling elitists use propagandist tools and machines like major media, mainstream media, to get out there and get that consent to govern us. And every elitist needs it. You know, it doesn't matter if they're a dictatorship, the president, or what. They need that consent to come on and rule us. And if you look at America and the elite that we have here, I think they finally have started to lose it. If you look at how Trump is doing against Hillary, and albeit both of them are elitist, a better example is myself. I'm by no means an elitist. And I'm taking on the good old boy system, and they hate it. They fear me for it. They're up to all kinds of shenanigans and trickery to ensure that I cannot take away that rosy thorn they're on. Think about it. And this is what's happening out there. The reality is being masked by people like in the mainstream media. They are the mouthpiece for these ruling individuals, ceaselessly promoting their false narratives out there. And it's causing the great divide out there. You know, the great divide between the right and left paradigms. The ruling elite have delivered prosperity not just to the privileged few, but to the underprivileged many that they govern. Both these assertions are essentially false, aren't they? Are you feeling any prosperity? You're the governed. It's false. These guys, these elitists, they're the privileged. They're the protected few. The governed are underprivileged. We're unprotected when you compare what we have to what they have. And that's the divide that counts. The divide that is finally becoming more and more visible to even the more marginalized individuals, the more underprivileged individuals, the class of, let's call them serfs that are out there. But that's not stopping them. The elites are out there. They're saying, hey, let's get this army. They got their army of technocrats out there. They got their army of media apologists out there. And they've engineered and promoted this endless spew of ginned up phony statistics. They'll come out there and they'll say, hey, guys, life is great for you. We got super low unemployment. The rate is very low. But what they don't talk about is the type of jobs that are coming, the pay that's associated with those jobs, the amount of people that have stopped looking for those jobs. How about inflation? There is no inflation, they tell you, because they cherry pick out of 30 numbers. They'll take 3 that they like and give them an inflation number that they want. But when I go to Publix, that bill keeps going up. There is inflation. They got this illusion of growth and prosperity that benefit everyone. And it's not just the top 5. They want us to believe that. Oh, we're not just the top people that are seeing the prosperity. All of you guys are involved. But that's not the way it is. The U.S. economy is not just neoliberal. It's not neo-feudal either. It's structurally an updated version of what they call medieval feudalism, in which you have the top layer of financial, political nobility. They own all the engines of wealth. They own all the government. They govern everything. They've marginalized us serfs down here at the very low end. You know, us guys, we toil with our jobs, living paycheck to paycheck, trying to pay off our student loans, our auto loans, our credit cards. Credit cards that are an all-time high right now, debt. The mortgages, they tell us, oh, do the American dream, go and buy a house so that you can be strapped with that debt. The taxes that they keep throwing on us. Don't get me started on taxes. Who's all this benefiting, guys? It's not benefiting us, the commoners. It's benefiting the financiers. It's benefiting the political elitists out there at every level. State, county, city, regional, federal. And the media, if you look at those guys, they're a self-referential frenzy to convince us to convince us that the decision of the century is between an unrivaled political grifter like Hillary or this cowboy, this rogue person out there, this Trump guy. And the cold truth is that the ruling elite have shredded the social contract that they have with us by skimming the income wealth of the underprivileged. These guys, these elitist families that you see on the screen. It doesn't matter, Republican, as you saw just now, or left, the elitist. But unfortunately for these guys, at every level, their army of engorged enablers and apologists have already lost the consent to govern. You're seeing it at the local level here in Venice. Many of the people here, the residents, are rising up and saying, hey, we're sick of the local mayor holic. He's lost it. He's lost our consent. We want somebody in there that's going to speak for us. We're tired of being bamboozled. We're tired of being conned. We're tired of being misled. For decades, we're tired of their phony facade of political legitimacy. Think about it. Their little rising tide that comes up with all the boats has cracked wide open the machinery of their oppression. They're looting their propaganda that these guys on the screen push. It's not visible to everyone. You can see it, can't you? Who isn't being paid to cover their eyes so that the elitists can continue to excel? They've lost that consent, folks. Brimming with the hubris and self-importance, these ruling elitist, good old boys, and their cohort partners in crime, mainstream media, cannot believe they've lost the consent to govern. To people like me, alternative media, taking away and telling the truth versus the propaganda that spills out of their mouths. The disillusioned government have not fully absorbed the shift of the tide yet, but we are. We are aware of our disillusionment. We are completely aware of our financial decline, our security that's gone with that. And unfortunately, we've yet to grasp that beneath the surface of everyday life, that we have already withdrawn the consent. And once more and more people realize that, they're going to wake up. They're going to tell these self-serving, these predatory, parasitic, greedy, ultimately self-destructive ruling elite, you do not have the consent to govern us anymore. What are your thoughts? This has been Francesco Abruzzino with the Uncensored Report.